Imagine waking up tomorrow and every decision about your life is already made. What job you'll do, how much you'll earn, what you can buy, what you can't. Now imagine the opposite, total freedom. You can build, sell, own, compete, and win. Both systems promise justice. Both claim to create equality. Both accuse the other of ruining society. And here's the shocking part. Almost every country in the world uses both. So today, we're asking the most controversial question in modern history. Does capitalism make us rich but ruthless? Or does socialism make us equal but weak? This isn't politics. This is about your money, your future, and your freedom. Every generation believes it has finally figured it out. Capitalism rose during the Industrial Revolution, lifting millions out of poverty, but also creating slums, child labor, and extreme inequality. Socialism rose as a reaction, promising dignity, fairness, and security, but often ending in shortages, inefficiency, and authoritarian control. One system rewards competition. The other prioritizes cooperation. One says, if you work harder, you earn more. The other says, no one should fall behind. But here's the truth nobody likes to admit. Both systems are responses to human nature. To understand who's right, we need to understand how each system actually works. Capitalism is simple in theory. Private ownership, free markets, competition, profit as motivation. In capitalism, you own what you build. If you create something valuable, people reward you with money. If you fail, you learn, or you disappear. Think of capitalism like a racetrack. Everyone starts running. Some run faster, some trip, some never finish. Capitalism doesn't promise fairness. It promises opportunity. And that's why it creates innovation, technology, massive wealth, rapid growth. Your smartphone? Capitalism. The internet? Capitalism. Electric cars? Capitalism. But here's the dark side. Capitalism also creates winners and losers, and the gap between them can become terrifying. Critics ask one brutal question: what happens to those who lose the race? Because capitalism doesn't care if you're sick. It doesn't care if you're born poor. It doesn't care if you fail twice. In pure capitalism, healthcare becomes a luxury, education becomes expensive, wealth concentrates at the top, and over time, power follows money. This is why critics say capitalism eventually turns into corporate rule, where billionaires influence laws, where monopolies crush competition, where the market stops being free. So capitalism works, but for whom? Socialism starts with one emotional idea. No one should suffer while others live in excess. Instead of private ownership, socialism emphasizes collective ownership, state regulation, redistribution of wealth, guaranteed basic needs. In socialism, the goal is not to win the race. The goal is to walk together. Healthcare is free. Education is free. Housing is affordable. No one becomes extremely rich, but no one is supposed to be extremely poor. Socialism values security over ambition, and for millions of people, that sounds like justice. But here's the uncomfortable question. If everyone earns the same, why work harder? Socialism struggles with one major issue: incentives. If effort and reward are disconnected, productivity falls. When the government controls prices, wages, and industries, innovation slows, bureaucracy grows, corruption increases, and history gives us harsh lessons. Countries that attempted full socialism often faced empty shelves, poor quality goods, black markets, loss of personal freedom. Because to enforce economic equality, the state often needs more control, and control, once taken, is rarely returned. Let's get real. No modern country is purely capitalist or purely socialist. The United States, highly capitalist, but with social programs like Social Security, Medicare, and public education. Scandinavia, often called socialist, but actually capitalist economies with strong welfare systems. They have free healthcare, free education, high taxes, but also private businesses, billionaires, competitive markets. The Soviet Union, centralized socialism, state-controlled everything. It collapsed under inefficiency and lack of innovation. China, a paradox. Communist government, capitalist markets, and it worked after they embraced private enterprise. The pattern is clear. Extremes fail, hybrids survive. This debate is not economic, it's philosophical. Capitalism asks, how free should the individual be? Socialism asks, how responsible should society be? Freedom creates inequality. Equality requires limits on freedom. Too much capitalism, exploitation. Too much socialism, stagnation. Every society is balancing these two forces like a tightrope, and when they lean too far in either direction, they fall. Here's the answer nobody wants. Neither system is evil. Neither system is perfect. Capitalism is powerful, but dangerous without rules. Socialism is compassionate, but fragile without incentives. The real question isn't capitalism versus socialism. It's how much of each can a society handle? And that answer changes with culture, time, and leadership. Closing. So the next time someone says, capitalism is evil, or socialism always fails, remember, the system doesn't define us. We define the system. And the future won't be decided by ideology. It'll be decided by how wisely we balance freedom and fairness. So now I ask you, which would you choose and why?